engine. Okay, it's never said that word. Is that referring to engine trouble on a craft?
Coffin.
I just got goosebumps. No way. It's never said that word before, and I've never used this at a cemetery. I was just talking about, I was just by where the coffins were sunk into the ground. All right, so we're headed out. You guys chose a Strange Stroll. The poll closed on Valentine's Day, so now we're headed out towards Maury Island, the Slag Forest. So I'm going to tell you more about the Slag Forest. I'll tell you more about Maury Island throughout the day. I got some articles I'm going to read off the phone. We're going to try to do some man-on-the-street stuff. We have a ferry to catch in order to get out there. It's not a very long ferry, but ferries leave on time. Don't pay the ferryman. Now these, I just finished up, I guess I'll show you these. These are my wood watchers. Just finished these up here, this grouping in particular. And then we came up with a different design here. The gnomes. So I just finished up these guys. And yeah, these are how I pay the bills right now. Alright, enough of those guys. Let's go catch a ferry. Hey there, Vashon.
360s your change. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Same
you.
one.
Have to get over here. Okay, we're on the ferry. We're actually going backwards, which if they did this long term in a storm, I'd probably be throwing up in this video. We don't have long till we get there at all. First one's off the ferry, which is always nice. Okay. Now we gotta weave our way off of this island. Wait a second here, this is probably not a bad idea. So I just got off the ferry, and as I was driving, I passed by this. I was thinking of doing something just a little bit random in the beginning here to kind of set the mood for the day, just to kind of get to know the land. So I can't imagine something better than maybe walking a serene labyrinth. So let's see what we got here. Okay. It looks like a big UFO crop circle. Is there something about the labyrinth? There is. Welcome to the labyrinth, one of the oldest spiritual tools known to humankind, found in all religious traditions and various forms around the world. The labyrinth is here at the Church of the Holy Spirit that takes the walker through 11 circuits before reaching the center. This labyrinth is patterned after the permanent stone labyrinth set into the floor of the Chartres Cathedral in France during the 13th century. Let's walk our crop circle labyrinth here at this church. I just screwed up the labyrinth. I don't know how I did it, but I'm already back at the beginning, so let's try this again. But leave it to me to go off path or off track so quickly from something that only has one road. All right, I didn't screw it up that time. I had to take this off because it just seemed wrong to walk a labyrinth with a face covering on. So anyway, I'm gonna take a look around the island here. I think this was a good starting point, and this is all improvisational stuff from here on out. We'll go over some of the particulars, like I said, when we get to Maury Island, but we're not quite there yet. Okay, since we're in the Pacific Northwest, in particular Washington State, even more so on an island, this place is extremely COVID conscious. So we're gonna have to mask up for any outdoor activity because even people riding bikes are out here doing this. So here we go. I had to sneak off to the back of an alley here because I can only wear these little face thongs for so long. CO2 ain't good for you. I'll be seeing UFOs in no time if I keep it on. I'm in the back of the alley here for now, but I know I need to go back out on the street, and we want to see if we can talk to some locals about Maury Island. I doubt anybody will talk to us. Something says, especially here, it will be difficult to do. It's gonna take the right person at the right place. Probably no customers kind of deal. But I'm probably gonna have my best luck at the Vashon library, which isn't open for another hour. So I'm gonna start there and see what we can do as far as talking to people about exactly what's down in writing. Maybe we can find some microfiche. Maybe we can find an old librarian or something. We'll talk about it, but we have an hour, so I'll snoop around here a bit and let you know if I find anybody. I found this really amazing mural that looks like it was unfinished. We have a transparent fiddler, a cloaking deer, a man in front of a barn that says Jesus throwing a firework, or an orb next to a kid with a, I don't know, looks like a red cloak, or maybe a floaty, but no mention of, or nothing painted in here to indicate any recognition of the Maury Island incident. And I don't think I'm missing anything. It's a strange move for the community not to do. I don't know, maybe Johnny Depp knows the answers. Wait, one more thing I found here. This we'll come to later. I don't think it's linked to the story of the UFO incident, but he's not doing it justice on how cool this is. But what the heck is going on here? That is just straight up like a skull-faced apparition. Oh. I don't know if this is a petroglyph of an alien race here, but this is still a cool tree. Well, that's a different Strange Stroll, but it gives me hope that something cool will happen. Well, I just tried the Vashon Public Library, which is totally closed, but the gal at the front desk was nice enough to tell me that I may have better luck up the street here at the Vashon History Museum. So maybe we can find somebody. I mean, obviously the town here knows quite a bit about it. Until things open up, it kind of makes it more of a challenge. So I'm gonna see if I can get in touch with the History Museum, and maybe they'll talk to me even over the phone. Closed. Wah wah. So we're on our own here for the most part, unless we find somebody that can really give us their perspective. Okay, remember that mural with the bike in the tree? Well, that's historical fact out here. And there it is. Boy, oh boy. You really don't know what you're getting into out here, do you? This is an old story here, one that you could fill in the blanks with, but it is unfortunately been picked apart. Could that be one of the first abductions out here from some unsuspecting tot? Is it okay to film?
It is private property.
Oh, it is? I didn't see a sign. Alright, so we had to get out of the bicycle in the tree. We were asked to leave actually by someone who said it was private property. Let's talk what our original purpose is here, getting to know Maury Island. So let's read some articles on this. On June 21st, Harold Dahl, an employee at the marine salvage business, reported to his boss, I guess Chrisman, an incident at the Puget Sound harbor near Maury Island, where he sighted 6 donut-shaped, unidentified craft, bringing in metallic fragments that were dropped by one of the objects and camera film he had taken of them. Chrisman contacted the Tacoma Times police beat reporter Paul Lantz and friend Ray Palmer about the incident, mailing him some of the fragments. On the evening of July 30th, I believe this was in the 40s, it doesn't say the date, July 30th, Christmas and Dahl traveled to the Winthrop Hotel and met with Kenneth Arnold, who had also claimed to have seen UFOs previous that month and showed him fragments. The group decided to share the story with United Airlines pilot Emil J. Smith and military intelligence investigators Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown. Smith, Davidson, and Brown joined them for another meeting the following morning, though Dahl was strangely absent. That night, Chrisman received a call from Dahl, who explained that his absence was due to a meeting with a government official in a black suit who warned him to no longer speak of the Maury Island incident for the safety of his family. Dahl went on to say that when he had returned home, his son Charles was MIA. Later, Chrisman heard on the radio that a B-52 or B-25 carrying Davidson, Brown, and some of the fragment had crashed and quickly informed Kenneth Arnold of the incident. Chrisman was later informed by Paul Lance that an anonymous source claimed the B-25 to have been sabotaged or shot down. He returned to the hotel, informing Arnold and Smith about the possible subterfuge. United Press stringer Ted Morello called the group to confirm details about Davidson and Brown, also telling them that the anonymous source warned that the same thing could happen to Arnold and Smith. The warning prompted the frightened Chrisman to flee the hotel. Now, some of the details missing out of this particular internet site is that there's two Dahls here, Harold Dahl and then his son Charles Dahl, who was with him. I believe that the dog was either hit with some of this debris from these craft as they dropped this molten slag, and pieces were collected and sent off. And Kenneth Arnold, of course, we know, is a major player for the sighting over here while he was flying over, I believe, Mount Rainier. It's where I think the term flying saucers came from. So I may have some of my information wrong. We're in the right spot. What's interesting about this is that the story takes on all of these little spider web courses, like all these strange stories always do. There's a plane doing something really interesting here that I got to film. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's right there, and it's doing a giant U shape. It's a jet. I don't have zoom on this camera. When I came out here initially to check this out, it was shortly after I watched a film called The Maury Island Incident, which you can watch the trailer on YouTube. It covers the details of which, I just briefly explained here, but it gets into the Men in Black, which is one of the first reports, I think, that lists government agents that are coming in, dressed in all in black, looking like the Blues Brothers, which I would have to ask Dan Aykroyd whether or not the Blues Brothers is based upon the Men in Black, because Dan Aykroyd has some connections to his whole family, to the spiritual movement. So I would imagine that two men dressed in all black with black Ray-Bans on has something to do with his interest in the MIBs, and just added the comedy element to it. The Men in Black part is it's almost too good to be true as far as theater. So whether or not that's something factual, I haven't had an experience with it. I don't want an experience with it. Don't come knocking, please. But I know somebody, and whether or not I can get her to come forward has yet to be seen. But she absolutely swears that she has had an encounter more than once, I believe, with them personally, and with what they can do. Now, who they are, I don't know. It could just be them dressing up the part for intimidation. Our job today really is just to get to know the island and stay here as late as we can. The weather's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And there's a forest that we found. I'm going to take you to this forest, and we're going to get to know it a little bit, and we're going to go to where the actual sighting was. So let's Let's head out there and do that. Okay, so during the poll, people had a chance to vote on various objects they wanted to see me bring. One of the objects that people wanted was the UV flashlight, which isn't going to show very much out here in the daytime, but it has two different modes. It's a pretty high-powered UV flashlight, and maybe it can see things in the UV mode that we can't see with our own naked eye. And then the copper rods, brought those back into the picture here. We use those at the Skookum Creek Adventure. You know, we can break those out at any time. People have used those to find water and oil and all sorts of stuff, but maybe we can use those to communicate as well. So we'll see if they find any molten slag in the forest. You also wanted the eyewitness. Got that with us here. Still not saying anything. We'll turn it on now. On. See if we get any words while we're doing the video. Last but not least, the crowd-funded Psionics Aurora. Very small, very compact. This is an aftermarket lens cover, and then an IR booster flashlight. The case here that I bought aftermarket as well, and I brought this just the same. Let's hope the skies open up a little more than they are. I can see a little bit of blue popping in. We are on Maury Island. Oh, here's a word. Cannot. Well, cannot what? Change the weather? Be a little more specific. But we're going to try to stay here, even if this says we can't. Well, this stood out on my way down to Maury Island Beach. It looks like a modern version of a ancient megalithic structure, huh? Just bad art, I guess. That's actually pretty cool art, really. Well, it's got a slope there, so I think that's part of the intent. So behind me is the Maury Island Lighthouse. It's a defunct museum these days, but you can get a little bit of a feel for it through the dusty old windows. So let's see if we can take a peek inside. But you can see it's nothing in there going on. I don't think we'll be getting inside that, unfortunately. Miles and miles of beautiful beach here. I don't know if the tide's in or out. It looks like it's in at this moment. This wasn't just for the camera here. I found some rusty wreckage. It looks like a nail, a bent nail with barnacles. This is cool. This is a trolley that goes right down to the beachhead. You can see the old tracks. Now, what would they have needed a trolley for, except maybe to do some of that logging that was reported from Dahl, who was out here pulling up logs, I believe. You can see how the tracks go right down to the water's edge. Very interesting. I mean, is this one of the original trolleys that picked up some of the Dahl's logs? Very possible, huh? Okay, so I found another article. Remain mindful of toxins in local dirt. The state will soon begin work at Maury Island's natural area within the 275 acres of a long shoreline. It's a jewel in Puget Sound, but it was downwind of Asarco's copper smelter, which operated in Tacoma for 100 years before shutting down in '86. Much of the soil around us holds pollutions from the plume, specifically arsenic, lead, and other heavy materials. Lead is widely known as the cause of problem in children under 6, including lowering intelligence, reducing growth balance, and memory. Arsenic exposure is also significant, with long-term exposure leading to a range of serious concerns, including heart failure and several types of cancer. Extended use, 100 years of being downwind from arsenic would be the cause of finding some molten slag out here. So, I actually found on YouTube some video footage of the Asarco smelter smokestack being demoed. So this is a demolition of the smokestack. Let's see what it is. There it goes. Okay. Well, they're happy about it. It's gone. I heard that guy say that. Here's a local right here. You know where the Maury Island crash incident happened? No? Okay. Oh, hey there. How are you? Hi. You gonna say hi? Oh, you're a cutie. You live around here? You live in that haunted house? Oh. Well, as I was coming down to the Rock Quarry Beach here, I found the Maury Island Cemetery, and it wouldn't hurt to look around here. And yes, their heads are facing east, just like we were looking for with the Forrest Walker video when he found the mound of rocks, which I think is a headstone. Let's see if these are also facing east. Yep.
Ovilus on.
Is there anybody here at the cemetery that was alive during the Maury Island incident? Try to be a little cautious of some of the names on the headstones. It's tacky to even the old ones. I don't like to do it, but sometimes it just can't be helped. You can see how the graves are sunken in from where the caskets have gone down deeper into earth. When you got to Gettysburg, it looks the same way. Again, we're just looking to see if there's anyone here that can communicate to confirm whether or not the Maury Island incident is real. If you were here during that time in the 40s. See some of the dates on here. 1930, 1922, so they had already expired. Come on! I legit.
Engine.
Engine. Okay, it's never said that word. Is that referring to engine trouble on a craft?
Coffin.
I just got goosebumps. No way. It's never said that word before, and I've never used this at a cemetery. I was just talking about, I was just by where the coffins were sunk into the ground. Come on. I legit. I'm encouraged. I'm a little freaking out though.
Dirt.
Yes, I am on the dirt. I'm on the dirt, and I want to know.
Cave.
No, I don't know why you would say cake. What's cake? Trying to think what that would be.
Stood.
Yeah? I can stand over here. Do you want me to I was standing.
Northern.
Okay. That's really interesting. Do you need me to go north this way? Because this is technically north. All right, well, let's get back in the car. We'll charge some stuff and we're gonna try to get down to one of these trails here. Hey, I think we're gonna be okay weather-wise. It's not clear, but that's way better than I thought it was gonna be, so we stand a chance to do some night shots tonight. Okay, so we're headed down to this approximate area here, and I've got a little trail ahead of me for sure. So this would be where it happened, I think, according to the map that I was given. The approximate area, I believe, is right in this channel where the doll's boat was, and these donut-shaped craft, if we're to follow up with the official story, were here. I believe there were 6 or 7 of them, and one of them in particular was dropping slag off into the forest line, which we're going to go to here soon. But what a stunning view. Now we're trying to get down to that beach here. We got a little bit of a hike to do it, but I'm not one to give up. We got to make it back up here to the forest before it gets dark. So what does that look like? 10, maybe 12 minutes, and then another half hour back up. I don't think it's entirely necessary that I go to that beach. Yeah, it is. It's necessary if we're looking for slag, right? We need to go down. All right, I almost passed out. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And so living here, you never heard of the Maury Island incident. I asked you as you were leaving.
Yeah, no, never heard of it.
That's interesting. And you're a Maury guy.
Yeah, Maury local. I live right up on top of the hill.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, the arsenic in the soil that you were talking about is comes from like a smelting. Maybe it's not a copper smelting plant, but I thought it was a pulp mill for making paper.
Okay.
And like paper products. I could be wrong. I've never done any of my own personal research into it.
Yeah.
But I do know that the arsenic is generally in like the top inch or so of the soil.
So have you seen anything in the sky?
I mean, plenty of things. There's birds all over the place. But
When I said UFOs, your eyes lit up, so you're interested.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
100%.
And with all this night sky possible, you probably come down here quite often.
I'm here all the time. I'm here all the time. And actually the best spot to get a nice view, and it's a little closer for night walks, is just the top of that hill.
Yeah.
The bluff right there is just optimal for any kind of views. I mean, yeah, incredible views out here.
The night is young. I'll be here for a little bit. I brought my my gizmos with me to see if we can spot anything in the sky, but
You got some gizmos?
well, that was cool. We sat and chatted for a little bit after I turned the camera off. He was talking about killer whales out here. I see Tacoma out here, so the smokestack must have been right off of that point in particular. And he was saying it was a well-known fact that there is molten slag that has fallen here and arsenic levels, but I asked him if he had 7 or 22 fingers or a flipper, and he claimed he didn't, but he was hiding his tail the whole time. Okay. Let's say I touched the Maury Island water. Tastes like salt and arsenic. All right, let's see how long this takes. You ready? Set. Go. Okay, I made it back. Let's see. That's not bad. 13 minutes. Okay, so I'm headed into one of the no boundary zones. I think we can walk up to a certain point there, and then there will be a sign that talks about no trespassing or danger due to elevated levels of arsenic. Forest area off limits. Okay, so this is it right here. There we go. Forest area off limits. Do not enter. This area lies within the Tacoma smelter plume. Soils may be contaminated with harmful levels of arsenic and lead. Protect your health and stay on the maintained trails. Okay. So that's it. All right, so I'm at a clearing on the edge of the forest now. There's not anyone here, so I think we have it all to ourselves for the evening. Now it's just a matter of what we're gonna do. Okay, so just like before, I don't know if you saw the Skookum Creek adventure, but we broke these out and we asked them pretty bizarro questions just to make sure everyone knows this is fair. There's no wind. Trees are not moving, as you can see behind me. It is perfectly still, which is pretty bizarro for where we live. I'm right on the edge of the water in the Pacific Northwest and not even fully spring. So dowsing rods, copper rods. Obviously you can heard the story probably of these things used to find everything from oil to water to gold, but we're gonna see if they can do a bit more for us regarding the Maury Island crash. So we'll go for it. So just like before, we're gonna make sure that there's some mountain bikers coming through here. They got their headlamps on. There's a plane coming overhead. Okay, so let's just try this out. Can you point to where the mountain bikers are coming in from? If there's something here, you can use these copper rods to point where certain things are. When you cross these, that means yes. When you pull them apart, that means no. So can you point out where these mountain bikers are? No, that's just me. Just my tired old hands. I'm gonna try to make sure that these are completely free of my thumb. We should just ask another question. I don't know. I'm tired from walking up those hills. We're here to talk to anybody that we can't see, but that has enough energy and power here on this island to talk about Maury Island. Okay, so they crossed. I don't know if that's legit or not. I was holding them pretty still. I mean, look at how much these things are moving around, and I know it's user error. They look perfectly straight. Is there someone here that can talk about Maury Island? What we want to know is whether or not Maury Island was real. It was a real event in the 1940s. Mr. Dahl was witness to it along with his son and his dog. Right behind the camera here. So if there's someone here that knows about that on this land, can you cross these rods together for me for yes, it was real, or pull them apart if it was false, and do it quickly so we have absolute certainty. I'm not feeling it, not like I did in Skookum Creek, and it could just be the difference of being slightly dehydrated and weak from the brief cardio. All right, we'll try these later here. I'm not feeling that. All right, I'm gonna go back to this eye ovulus here and see if we can get more new words, because I think it was looking pretty good at the cemetery. So let me go back to that.
Ovulus on.
Okay. Is there something here that wants to communicate? Is there somebody here that...
Farmers.
Oh, is this going to ask if there's someone here? Okay, chill out. Obviously I was going to ask if there's someone here that wants to communicate with us. Okay, were there farmers up here? Tell us about your life. Oh, that's an owl. That's a good sign. I don't know if you could hear that through the camera.
Couch.
Okay, there's the owl. Now it just said couch. I hear some mountain bikers behind me too. There it goes. Someone tell me what kind of owl that is. Tell me more about yourself. Your farmer's on a couch right now. What else? Do you know anything?
Cannot.
You cannot tell me anymore? Or you won't? I will show you the UV flashlight that we're going to use tonight. So for this, we'll turn the lights off. There we go. So this is got low function and high function. Whoa! There is a lot of creepiness going on right now. That's some Beetlejuice stuff. All right, kids, don't smoke. That's a little better, but you want to scare the grandkids.
Open the button on this on your face.
That is something else. The principle behind this is that you'll be able to see, you know, phosphorus, white substance or powder. I don't know if we have any use for anything like that in the woods or not, but certainly you wouldn't want to put this in a hotel room. It's really good for finding Sasquatch prints, latent alba vernix or chalky white substance. Daryl Sims says use this also for looking for abductees. All right, so we got the black light, and turn this back on. So let me put that away. And we got our high-powered flashlight. I think that's plenty bright for what we need tonight. You can see it'll definitely do the job if we need to scope out the woods. So let's do that. Let's go in there, and then after we get our fill back here, we will head out to roll some footage with the color night vision. I think we're gonna run into some passers-by up here. People doing night riding. It's a thing. Okay.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hi there.
One more still coming behind me.
All right, night riders.
Night photographers.
Okay, popular site. Trail goes on and on, but this is, here's another sign, basically saying the same thing. First, you know what I thought I'd do is check out this rock, because I see quartz within it, and so that could be really cool with the UV light. So let's use this UV light. I'm going to turn this light on. Okay, now it's on powerful. So let's see if there's anything strange that turns up here. Obviously this has been here. Maybe it was placed here by mountain bikers. I'm just curious about what it can see within the UV spectrum on something with quartz. Okay. There's my feet. Alright, let me go to this baby here. This is gonna be cool. Alright, so it is black out this way, so I am using the IR extender beam. It's just a flashlight mounted to the bottom, but it gives me an opportunity to see beyond what the psionics can do in that kind of territory right there. Now I can zoom in You can see it does okay. Oh, I see something right over there. You can see that? Mountain biker. I see something between the trees. Right there. Can't identify what it is. You have to go out this way, so I guess we'll meet whoever's... Oh, that's way more obvious now. I don't know what that is. If that thing shoots off into the sky, I think we got our answer. Doesn't that look way brighter? There it is. Oh, okay, it's going, depending upon how I lean, it changes its brightness. You know what I think that is? I think it's a car reflector. I do. It's probably my car. Well, I guess that says a lot about this camera, right? Not so much about my ability to discern shit, but interesting. That's about as good as you're gonna get in total darkness with the contrast as best as it can get. What a difference. I mean, that's incredible. This is literally like a $15 IR booster. And there is the sky. Alright, let's go try this thing out in the stars. Okay, so I turned down the contrast a little bit. It got rid of some of that graininess. So if the moon were out, which it should be somewhere soon, I think we'd be able to see a whole lot more up here. I mean, you can imagine on top of, you know, a mountain 6,000 feet up without there being any cloud cover and a half moon or a quarter moon. This would just be phenomenal. And, you know, you're not losing a lot of light detail by turning down that contrast this much. But I am going to make a comment about Maury Island. I'm not quite sure. I shouldn't come to an opinion about what happened down here all those years ago. I just haven't done enough research, but I guess it's just the beginning. As far as the official story, I don't know yet. I mean, if I could see a donut-shaped UFO, I need a donut right now. It would just seal the deal for everybody. But there's just not enough information here. It's possible that we'll get a little bit of a cloud break. I see something over there of a cloud break. This is just all air traffic. I like that smoke plume. That's kind of wild looking. I mean, that's pretty dark over there. I'm looking with my naked eye. If someone walked across that road, I'd never see them unless I had this. Alright, so Maury Island, the history of it is a little bit shady and murky right now, but all good mysteries are. It's 80 years old, and that's quite a long time to try to uncover something in less than 12 hours. And I haven't even done cursory interviews with anybody who's spent their whole lives studying this. So hey, if you want to support the channel, you can do that. Just go on and hit the thumbs up button. Also subscribe and share the video, but mainly the thumbs up button and commenting helps get these videos noticed so I can do them. If you like the videos, go ahead and let me know if there's something you thought I could have done different. I know who you are, and you will make suggestions. But let's talk about the next Strange Stroll. So the vote for that one starts now. You can go on YouTube and you can actually vote now on the next Strange Stroll. It will be a vote or a poll just like the other Strange Strolls. Remember, it's your chance to send me to a crazy ass location. So where am I going to go on the next one? I'd like to check out Forks, Washington, home of Twilight. Vampires and werewolves, right? Obviously, Twilight, the story's filled with the lore there, but Forks itself is a pretty interesting town. I think I can think of a couple spots of abandoned houses and such. The other one I'm going to put back on there because I think it might be a good adventure is this Northern State Mental Asylum. Both of these are probably about the same amount of time to drive to. So once I go in, you know, I'm going to do what I'm doing now and make sure that I get there early and record tons of content. But the farm is a mental ward for the criminally insane that has now been condemned. So your choices right now are home of werewolves and vampires, Forks, Washington, Twilight, or will it be the farm, Northern State Mental Asylum? I'm gonna leave it up to you as far as the things you know that I'm gonna bring with me. Those will be up over on Facebook on their poll because I can add more options. So just go to Strange Brow Radio, find the poll option there. It'll probably be at the top of the page under the you know, Facebook link, Strange Brow Radio. I also have it available on my website at strangebrowradio.com. And you know, the more interest and the more voting you do, the more reason I'll have to keep on doing this. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and of course, I'll see you in the trees. Okay, well, surprise, surprise, if you held on for the end of the video, then you're getting a little extra content here. Now, it is the next day. I am at a island south of Maury Island, roughly 24 hours later, and I thought I would come check out this trailhead here because they have all the other natural species out here, which is, this is a surprise for the Pacific Northwest, big time. Chipmunks, coyotes, deer, but what do you know? Our good old friend here, the elusive Northwest Sasquatch. But this is an interesting place for sure, and there has been stuff that has happened here, but look at this. This is why I had to do a part 2 somewhat. So for the patrons over at patreon.com/strangebowradio, they're going to get a whole lot more content here because we are going dark. We are headed up here to the area where we got some vibes when we went camping here past the fence here. So I'm going to try to hold the camera as still as I can till we get to the spot, but there's been some interesting stuff that's happened up this way. There's an island up here, or a lagoon that we like to go to in the summer, but there's also a vantage point and a viewpoint that I want to go film at. So look at all the damage from the snowstorm that we had here. Wow. There is nobody else at this location right now. I just double checked everything, and I think technically probably don't love you here after dark, but what's the worst that can happen? Alright, let's continue on. Okay, so I'm hearing sounds down here. I'm not quite sure if it's must be an owl. Okay. have a pretty good view of the sky. Okay. This is the spot. There we go. See, I turned down the contrast a little bit, and it takes away some of those vertical lines. Oh, isn't that pretty? I think that, yeah, that's where the sun went down, so. I'll slowly pan here. I hear a boat. Okay, here's the lagoon I like to come to in the summer. So that's Orion's Belt. A lot of speculation on that being tied to the Giza pyramids. Okay, something jumped or was thrown in the water there. They sound like something jumped. So there's a couple boats docked in the water in the summer. This is a major party spot. There's just so many channels out here. Well, there's a big piece of driftwood I'm caught up in. There's where we parked our car. It looks super bright over there, but with the naked eye you can barely see like a light orange glow. I heard somebody coming over there. You always worry about someone breaking in your car and all that shit. Or getting a ticket. I wouldn't be surprised if I get a giant ticket. Well, I see a satellite moving right there in the center of the screen. So, let's see if that does anything. Cucamonga. I see a satellite moving right there. You can see it moving over the Doug firs now. It doesn't look like Starlink. Usually the Starlinks aren't separated too far, and it would be right back here. Oh, here comes the sea fog. Well,